Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video doing the book dating history tag that I was tagged in by Walker Wright 7. His video was a lot of fun, so definitely check that out in the description below. So I figured I'd go all out and have a little fun with this one as well. So with no further ado, let's get into the prompts. So the first prompt is first loves. What book was your first love? And there were definitely books I liked, when I was young, but first love, there's nothing else it could be but The Wheel of Time, specifically Eye of the World. This book I absolutely loved and started my lifelong love and commitment to Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, who's still with me to this day, as you can see behind me. So we've stayed in a very committed relationship, even though this was my first love. The second prompt is outside your genre. What is your favorite genre and what book do you really like outside of that genre? So, if you've seen my channel, the first prompt, the answer there is probably not a surprise would be, I mostly do fantasy. Normally my go-to answer on this is The Count of Monte Cristo because that's one of my favorite novels of all time, and it's not fantasy, but I've mentioned that a few times recently, so I figured we'd break out the granddaddy of science fiction, Dune, which is a book that I did very much love as well. Now I know many would probably say this is sci fantasy, so is that cheating? Probably, but if you think so, you could take Count of Monte Cristo. I was trying to bring up other books, but Dune was super different, and I don't read a ton of science fiction. It's an area I need to get more into, but I just tend to focus mostly on fantasy. But Dune sets up a very interesting world, and this is one too, even at the end, the appendixes, talking about how religion worked once you had space travel, super interesting, and just a lot of the themes and just overall big picture items explored here were really fascinating to me. So that is something, of course, Dune, that I am a huge fan of by Frank Herbert, although I've honestly only ever read the first one. I haven't read the others, and don't yell at me, I know I need to write that someday. We'll get there, but I should probably reread Dune first before I do that. Prompt 3, catfishing. What book catfished you, and was it good or bad? So this actually, I don't know if this is fully in the spirit of the question, but was a good thing. But when I think of catfishing, I just basically think of whatever the cover not being what it seemed to be, and that makes me think of Crown of Stars, which I also probably mentioned too much. But if you look here at King's Dragon, kind of a questionable cover. But now, I didn't actually see this book in a bookstore to make me interested in this series. I saw Prince of Dogs, which is book 2, King's Dragon is book 1. It just, this is bad. So I'm thinking this seems very questionable, but something about it just drew me in. I kept seeing it at my local used bookstore, and I'm like, I gotta check this out. So I tracked down the first book and ended up buying the whole series. I read the first 4 so far, and it is a series that I love. So it ended up being something very different than what I thought. Not cheesy at all. It's actually a really serious, classic medieval style fantasy with a huge focus on world building. And there's just so much there. It's a fantastic series, which I would not have guessed based on those covers. The fourth prompt: does size really matter? What matters more to you, length of a book or the ocean of emotion? Look, guys, size absolutely matters. I like big books. Just look at this. This is To the Green Angel Tower by Tad Williams. Look at this. Look at this thick boy. This is massive, and that's the way I like it. I will absolutely complain that books need to be longer. I was reading Faithful and the Fallen, and especially the first 2. The second 2 I treated as one 1,600-page book, so it was fine. But the first 2, I wanted an extra 300 pages. I like my long books. I like my Stormlight, my Wheel of Time, my 900-page Robin Hobb books. I like big books, and I cannot lie. Alright, so number 5 is out of your league. Name the book that is way out of your league, but you went for it anyway. So I'm not really sure what to answer here because, I guess I could say when I first read Wheel of Time, I was very young, and that was a really long series, but I was interested and I read it. And so since, the first big series I ever read was one of the biggest ones, I never felt like I needed to stray away from big series. I'm actually a really big fan. I love long epic fantasy series. So what I ended up going with is a book that I'd heard a lot about from Mark, or slowly read, and also then specifically from Narsil in our Discord, who's talked a ton about this series, and that is The Darkness That Comes Before by R. Scott Baker. And the more I've heard about this series, especially from Narsil in the Discord, the more I'm interested, but also hesitant, because it sounds like this is some like the craziest, darkest stuff, and then Baker also is supposed to have this very philosophical, very like poetic kind of prose while having these terribly dark things happen. And so this is something that might not be for me, but I'm definitely going for it, and I will be trying it. I only have the first book so far, but this is something that I definitely will be making sure to read. Alright, so prompt number 6 is Kiss, Marry, Kill. Name 3 books, and then choose Kiss, Marry, Kill. So I had my wife randomly pick 3 books for me for this one. And so those books were An Echo of Things to Come by James Islington, and it is the second book in the Lycanius trilogy. And then she picked Black Trillium, which is by Marion Zimmer Bradley, Julian May, and Andre Norton, which I have not actually read. And Raymond E. Feist's Magician, which I also haven't read. This is the first book in the Rift War saga, so this is definitely going to be interesting, considering I haven't read either one. So I guess right off the bat, let's see. I guess I'm not sure like if I'm supposed to be the books or like characters, because Black Trillium is about 3 princesses, but I feel like I feel like I want to like Magician more than this, so I'll go ahead and kill Black Trillium. So then we have Kiss, Marry, and Kill. So I don't know this. I guess I will kiss Magician and marry An Echo of Things to Come, just because I've actually read and really enjoyed this book, and Magician definitely seems like a book that I should flirt a little with. So that seems to make sense. That's what we're gonna go with. All right. So number 7 is The Ex You Just Can't Let Go Of. What book do you keep going back to? So I interpreted this in a couple of different ways, and I changed it up a little bit and made it to an author. And one like the toxic ex, who I know is like it's not a good relationship, but I keep like giving another chance to. And for that, I went with Joe Abercrombie. I grabbed Red Country because this is the next book. I read First Law, and things started out pretty well. You know, I get to the blade itself, like relationships going well. We get to before they are hanging, like, oh man, things are hitting the next level. It seems like things are going to be great. And then the last argument of kings happen, and just everything kind of collapses, and the relationship suffers. But, you know, we're trying to work it out and move on to Best Served Cold. Didn't really do it. We get to the heroes, and it's pretty solid. Things seem like they're going to be fine. And at the end, though, they still kind of just leave a sour taste in my mouth. So Abercrombie I keep going back to, and I do plan to keep reading Abercrombie, even though I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with some of his books, and it's gotten more toward the hate side as of late. The other one I decided to go with is an author that I absolutely love, but that I know is going to hurt me, and that is Robin Hobb, because I loved the Farseer trilogy, even though it definitely hurt me very badly, especially this book, Assassin's Quest, the third book did too as well. Then going to Live Ship, getting ready to jump into the Tawny Man trilogy, and it's, you know, Robin Hobb, I know she's going to hurt me, but
no question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Alright, number 8, The Bad Boy / Girl. Name the book that is the bad boy or girl on your bookshelf. Now, I too, like Walker in this video, wasn't entirely sure what this meant, so I picked a book with a bad boy, and that is Prince of Thorns, because Jord is a very bad boy. Bad Jord. Very bad boy. But, really, this was a great trilogy. I actually love the first 2 trilogies, the Broken Empire and the Red Queen's War trilogy, and they were really good, even though, yeah, Jord is a pretty terrible person, and he is intended to be, so that's my answer for that one. Alright, number 9 is Friend Zoned. and it's name a book that you know will be a good read, but you're kind of into this other book for now. And there's probably a couple like this that I've been meaning to read but haven't gotten to, but the biggest one I thought of is Bloody Rose. And I mean, Bloody Rose, she's even a redhead, definitely my type, you know, but I've just put this off, and I've put this off. I didn't like Kings of the Wild nearly as much as I thought I would. I still plan to read this book, but it's been really hard to actually get into it and read it when I have so many other things to read. So I figured this is the book that I've left in the friend zone for now. Sorry, Bloody Rose. Alright, and then 10 is Let's Get Nosy, tag 3 or more people and let them spill the tea that is their book dating history. So, I tried to pick some fun people to do this tag. So I am going to tag Epic Tales because I'm almost afraid of what he's going to do with this tag. It's going to be interesting, to say the least, I'm sure. Also going to tag Megan from Megan's Reading Revelations and let her share some dirt on her book dating history as well. And then I feel like Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative will have a lot of fun with this one. So if she has not already done it, which I didn't check, but I haven't seen it at least, tagging Leslie as well in this one for the book dating history tag. So that is the end of this tag. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. Check out the link in the description for the Wizardly Duo Discord if you want to talk books or really anything else. Lots of conversation always going on there, and we always are growing and love it having new members in our community. And of course, if you'd like to see more of my content, then make sure to subscribe.